Hello, my name is Irena Ribič and I'm a senior curator at the National Museum of Contemporary History. In my presentation, I will talk about the 30 years of the Republic of Slovenia. Natura 2000 is a European network of special protection areas in the member states of the European Union. The basic goal is to preserve biodiversity for future generations. Nature in Slovenia is among the richest in the European Union. More than a tenth of all Natura 2000 species are found here in Slovenia. There are Natura 2000 sites in 204 of 212 Slovene municipalities, in which 6% of the population of Slovenia, or almost 128,000 people, live. In 2010, the United Nations General Assembly, by Resolution 64/292, defined the right to water as a fundamental human right. In 2016, Slovenia joined its goals by enshrining the inalienable right to water in the Constitution. At the end of 2017, Slovenia had 0.6 hectares of forests per capita, which is a larger forest area per capita than any of the neighboring countries. In recent years, Slovene forests have been affected by two natural disasters of extraordinary scale: hail in 2014 and strong winds in 2017. This was followed by the largest ever infestation of beetles. Spruce beetles caused the most damage to ice-broken and wind-broken areas. In less than 30 years, we have built more than 460 kilometers of motorways in Slovenia. The Constitution of the Republic of Slovenia, the country's most important legal act, was adopted by the Assembly of the Republic of Slovenia 1 year after the successful plebiscite on independence on 23rd of December 1991. It laid the foundations of new state authority in the Republic of Slovenia and the position of individuals within it, and was on a par with modern European countries. The flag of Slovenia is the white, blue, red Slovene national flag with the coat of arms of Slovenia. The ratio of the width of the flag to the length thereof is 1:2. The colors of the flag are in the following order: white, blue, and red. Each color occupies a horizontal band covering 1/3 of the area of the flag. The coat of arms is positioned in the upper left portion of the flag, such that it lies with one half in the white field and the other in the blue field. The coat of arms of Slovenia has the form of a shield. In the middle of the shield, on a blue background, is a representation of Mount Triglav in white, under which there are two undulating blue lines symbolizing the sea and rivers, and above which there are three golden six-pointed stars forming a downward-pointing triangle. The shield is bordered in red. The coat of arms is designed in accordance with a set standard of geometry and color. In 2020, the European Commission awarded Zdravljica, the Slovene national anthem, to the European Heritage label. In the poem, which also sings of freedom and coexistence between nations, it recognized above all its European significance and the idea of integration. On the picture, you can see the National and University Library, which houses the most important manuscript and printed editions of Zdravljica. On this slide, we present the terms of the National Assembly in all 30 years, with the picture of the Parliament building in the left lower corner. The biggest problem with the transition was the conversion of the previous ownership system into the market economy mechanism. Legislatively, privatization took place in several steps. In the autumn of 1991, the Housing Act and the Denationalization Act were adopted, and towards the end of 1992, the Ownership Transformation of Companies Act. Privatization had a number of negative consequences. Among the first and most visible were corporate bankruptcies and demonstrations of workers. Germany has been Slovenia's most important trading partner in all 30 years. Slovenia's trade with Austria increased the most in terms of trade with other EU members. In terms of trade with countries outside the EU, Slovenia exported most goods to countries on the territory of the former Yugoslavia. Slovenia's export to the Russian Federation increased only slightly in the years after independence, but significantly in the years after the economic and financial crisis. Trade with China has also strengthened sharply, especially imports. In terms of GDP per capita, in 2019 Slovenia was ranked 16th among the European 28. Luxembourg had the highest GDP and Bulgaria the lowest. The graph for 2019 shows that differences also occurred in the new millennium, and that the transition itself has not eliminated the disparities. According to GDP per capita, Osrednjeslovenska region was far ahead of all regions, while Zasavska region was in the last place. GDP per capita in 2019 in the Osrednjeslovenska region amounted to 32,620 and in Zasavska only 12,287 euros. In 1991 and in the first years of independence, Slovenia faced the loss of the Yugoslav market and the introduction of a market economy, as well as a high rate of inflation. Inflation was almost 250% in 1991. It only fell below 10% in 1995. In 2015 and 2020, we had even deflation. Slovenia is one of the countries with a universal healthcare system. The Slovene healthcare system faced serious structural and financial problems during the transition period. The complete restructuring of the Slovene healthcare system began with the adoption of the Healthcare and Health Insurance Act in 1992. In recent years, the internet in Slovenia is used regularly by 83% of people aged 16 to 74. Most users are present on the world's largest social network, Facebook. Almost 1 million inhabitants of Slovenia have their own profile on this network. Instagram is far behind with 450,500 users. 208,500 users from Slovenia are on Twitter, 180,500 on Pinterest, and 161,000 on LinkedIn. On this slide, we're showing number of exhibitions in museums and galleries in 1991 and 2018, as well as numbers of visitors in the same years in millions. We're showing also the number of inventorized museum objects in millions in the years 1991 and 2019. The Public Fund for Cultural Activities, with its 59 regional branches, is the leading cultural network in Slovenia. Through its programs, it promotes cultural creativity, co-financing and providing professional and organizational support to amateur cultural activities throughout Slovenia and abroad. In the last few slides, we would like to expose the achievements of Slovene doctors, Nobel Prize winners, novelists, and priests who got their presentation, among others, also on our exhibition with the title 30 Years of the Republic of Slovenia. The first one is Professor Dr. Uroš Ahčan. He's a doctor at the University Medical Center in Ljubljana, a specialist in plastic, reconstructive, and aesthetic surgery. His biography is full of achievements and domestic and foreign references. He invented and patented an innovative breast reconstruction technique with the help of a 3D model. In 2018, he upgraded the 3D model technique with a revolutionary and much publicized nose reconstruction using bone, tissue, and skin from the patient's forearm. Drago Jančar, the writer, with his exceptional and diverse work, is one of the most successful, recognized and award-winning Slovene writers both at home and abroad. A life full of pivotal moments and under two political systems, which led him professionally from being a dismissed newspaper editor and journalist with prison experience to president of Slovene Pen and today's position as one of the most prolific Slovene writer, provided him with many starting points for his work. Together with reprints, 132 of his books have been published in Slovene and around 200 independent books in translations into various languages. Dr. Lučka Kajfež-Bogataj is one of the Slovene pioneers in research into the impact of climate change. Her research focuses on climate change and applied meteorology, in particular the impact of weather and climate change on crop production and humanity. She is a member of the United Nations Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. As part of the IPCC team, she also became a Nobel Peace Prize recipient in 2007. In 2008, the then President of Slovenia, Dr. Danilo Türk, awarded her the Order of Merit for outstanding scientific work in the field of climate change studies and her commitment to environmental protection. Pedro Opeka is a missionary and priest of Slovene roots, born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. After his first visit to the island of Madagascar, he returned there in 1975 and stayed. In 1989, he founded the humanitarian association Akamasoa, Good Friends, which has been helping people on the fringes of society for 30 years, including with the help of numerous donations. They live today in more than 18 villages with all the necessary living, educational, medical, and sports infrastructure. In addition to the possibility of living an independent life through education, employment, and the consequent financial independence, he tries to bring concern for nature closer to young people in particular. Pedro Opeka has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize this year.